Right, welcome back to the channel everyone. So today we're taking out this here Morbidelli. The name is a little bit complicated. It's called the T1002VX. But luckily the value proposition, what this bike offers for the money, is outstandingly simple and very actually attractive. The bike costs, wait for it, you know it's going to be good when one of my reviews, because I love talking about affordable, good value bikes. And the number begins with 7. It's 7999. And this here is a 997cc 80-degree V-twin, putting out about 90 horsepower and 90 newton meters of torque. So already you're thinking, it's a little bit interesting, isn't it? You've got 90 horsepower, V-twin, litre capacity, and you're paying under 8 grand. It's going to get better because I'll add the other things to the list. You've got cruise control, you've got heated grips with 3 settings, heated seats for the rider and the pillion, the TFT, rider modes, quick shifter. Down here you've got crash protection included, strong aluminium crash guard. You've got branded tyres, which are Pirelli Scorpion STRs. They're wrapped round, spoked tubeless rims, which is a nice feature if you're touring. At the front of the bike, you've got a fully adjustable windscreen, bright projector LED headlights, Cayeba quality fully adjustable suspension with 185mm of travel at the front, chunky J. Joanne discs, 320mm pair, so that's going to provide some serious stopping power. Underneath, also included, is a trusty centre stand, which is a really nice thing to have on a bike like this if you're touring. An exhaust which doesn't look too bad, but also allows the V-twin sound to come out, so it's not totally muffled by a big silencer. This exhaust does give some degree of credence to the V-twin characteristic. And then at the back here, you've got this substantial grab rail, very robust, very strong. You can mount a top box on here and a couple of side panniers. Now, back in the day, we used to think that the whole aluminium luggage kit, our expectation was it was about 1,200 quid from Honda or Kawasaki, 1,500 quid maybe. BMW would be 1,800 quid. You can buy the full set of aluminium boxes for this bike for 499. So 500 quid, literally a third of what you buy, and they're the same boxes, they're made in the same factory. So if you're thinking about it, this bike for 8.5 grand, you're set up ready to go. That's the thing I really love about it. I don't like this kind of masking of the price, which brands do, where you buy the bike, you think, okay, it's 7.5 grand or it's 9.5 grand. And then you've got to go and option it up and you're like, oh, well, the heated grips are 300 quid and then the centre stand is 260 quid and then the quick shifter is another 180. And by the time you've spent another, and then the luggage I just mentioned, but then you spend another £1,000 on the bike and the sticker price is not really the price by the time you've added extras. What the emerging brands do really well is just they offer everything, and then if you don't need it or use it, like I probably won't use the quick shifter, but it's there for you. And I just think that's such a fair way to sell a motorcycle. It really appeals to me. So we're going to take the bike out and see how we get on today and just give it a ride and try and see if we can enjoy it. It is a bigger bike, it's 265 kilos wet. So if you think its competitors are probably the Honda Africa Twin, Suzuki V-Strom 1050, but those bikes are going to be like 5 grand more expensive thereabouts, aren't they? It's a huge price difference. So you're thinking about going adventure touring and you want the full-size bike with the power, full luggage, have a pillion on here, and the Morbidelli should be on the radar.
Morbidelli, and to be honest, I'm finding it a fun bike to ride, which I didn't expect. I knew it'd be a competent adventure touring bike, but like just opening the throttle, hearing the V8 rumble, V2 rumble, and then you can sort of power it out of bends. It's remarkable. It's like a fun bike. I wouldn't say it's flickable, but it's engaging. You know, you're actually riding it rather than just sitting on a bike and pointing it in a straight line. The rider's triangle with the ergos, it's just typical of adventure bike fare really. Really comfortable, nice wide bars, just sat nice and upright, no pain in the back or the knees, and then just bleed off some speed using the very powerful twin 320mm discs. So you've got nice comfortable seating position, and a big soft seat, which I kind of like. Suspension fully adjustable, and I'm just finding it nice and compliant really. You have got 185 millimeters of travel, so it's enough to sort of soak up the kind of worst of UK roads, the potholes and the undulations and everything. But when you press on a bit, it's quite well damped. It doesn't bounce you about all over the place. So overall, riding the bike is actually an enjoyable experience. Obviously we need to talk about the switch gear. Nigh on perfect, isn't it? Let's be fair. It's not over cluttered like the Hondas are. The buttons are big, you can reach them even with winter gloves on. I mean, side note, look at this road here when we come out of the 40. Look at this. Oh, listen to the speed of that V-twin. It's really fun, really fun. But yeah, everything just sort of works. It's chunky switchgear, nice high quality plastic, everything within reach. You don't hit one button when you mean to hit the other. Really good. Not like some of the early switchgear on the CF Motos. It was a bit neither here nor there, a bit washy, or the early Vosges that was a little bit plasticky. It's all come along. It's really nice. Quite like having hand guards as well when we're talking about up here, because it's going to keep your hands out of the wind, and even if you've got thin gloves on, it'll go a long way. Yeah, those front brakes are so powerful because you've got the big twin discs. Wow. Rear brake pretty good actually. I mean, watch this now. Yeah, I got the ABS to kick in there, so I was stamping quite hard on the rear. Perfect day to be out riding bikes. Bleed off some brake. Breathe off some brake. Wow. It's good fun, really. It is good fun. It's not my normal type of bike. I normally go for the sort of Royal Enfield Gorilla, like a lightweight bike, but yeah, it's really fun riding this bike. And that's what bikes are meant to be about. This is a tool for doing big distance trips down to Spain or whatnot, but it's also fun. And that, I think, is a nice combination to have. Wow. Go over these bumps in the road here, suspension just soaks it all up. The TFT's fine. I mean, we're used to nice TFTs now, so we're kind of a bit spoilt. Very clear, you got the speed there, which is the most important thing. And if you flick through, what's it showing me? I did have it showing something. Is it mode or info? Oh, I was pressing info before. There you got tyre pressure monitoring coming up. Then press info again. Got average fuel range. Got 20 litre tank, so it's going to go for miles. And that's the thing about this bike. It is on the scales heavy. The specs say 265, but then you've got a 20 litre tank, and you've got big strong crash protection, and you've got a bash plate. Again, what I said in the intro about the pricing, it's the same with the weight. You buy another bike and it's spec'd at say 230 kilos, but then you add all the crash protection, hand guards, bash plate, and then it soon creeps up. So it's almost like this is exactly what it says on the tin, and I don't mind that. It's not that heavy to bring off the centre stand or the side stand, and that's quite important. You need to be able to move the bike round when you're at standstill, really, when you're off the bike. That's where bikes become heavy. They don't become heavy doing what I'm doing now. And again, look at this screen here. See if I can do this. Well, I mean, that's great, isn't it? You can adjust the screen on the fly, and it's a simple mechanism. If some of them have the knobs and the pull the levers and stuff, they were just like, right, let's just make it uncomplicated, and that's what they've done. So yeah, very impressed with that. Got no vibes out of the mirrors. You don't normally expect vibes with these big displacement engines. It's normally the lighter, smaller capacity engines that tend to buzz at high RPM. With a big V-twin, you wouldn't expect it to vibe, and it doesn't. Got a nice view out of the mirror though, because they've got those, I had to say this, but like the typically sort of Chinese mirror, like a kind of angular oblong whatever that shape is called, but it just captures a lot of the road behind. It's just a very useful mirror. Got 2 USB ports, one either side. That's nice as well, because if you're wearing heated gear, sometimes it only plugs into one arm, so to have one either side means you have to trail the wire across. Silly stuff, isn't it? But it's like they've got 90-degree valves for the filling the tyres with air. Little things like that actually make your life a little bit easier as a motorcyclist. Yeah, all really good actually. Really good. Now, as far as taking this bike off roads, we all know the score. Adventure bikes are mainly for road-based adventures, and that's reflected in the fact that you can buy this bike for $799 as the T1002V. That's the one with cast alloy wheels, and then you can also buy the spoked one, tubeless spoked rims, for an extra 200 quid. But the adventure is really a road-based adventure when it comes to bikes like this, because as soon as you take it off something more extreme than a fire track, a gravel road, maybe a little bit of a muddy campsite, and the weight becomes an issue, unless you're a very, very good rider. And that's always the caveat. If you're above average and you know what you're doing with handling these bikes off-road, then the world's your oyster. But if you're an average Joe like myself, then this is not the bike to take green laning. Look at this road up here, just so nice how it curves around. Wow. I will say, on the road it handles its weight very well, and it's built like a tank. Everything about it, like the chain is extra wide, the crash protection's very, very substantial. Even the screen is like a big chunky unit keeping all the blast off me. Like, I usually do this to feel where the turbulence is. I sort of feel it there, but because it's a big bike, I'm set back from it, so that's why I'm not getting any buffeting. Or I shouldn't say any, but I'm getting minimal buffeting. So speed up to 60. Yeah, now I'm increasing the buffeting, but it's still not awful because of the positioning of the bike. And then as we come to this 40 here, watch how quickly I stop. Wow, crazy, isn't it? And I'll just demonstrate for you. Heated grips all integrated into the dash. Got 3 different levels. No awkward wires or anything. It's just all very neat, all very nice. I could get used to riding a bike like this, to be honest. I think it's the same as with all of the big adventure bikes. When you own one, you become used to it. It's only when you are used to riding little Vosges or something that you then jump on one of these and you think it's heavy. But when you own it, you just get used to it, like everything.
Right, I just arrived back at Midwest Moto. I've taken this bike out for about 2.5 hours, and it's not often you get a bike where there's nothing to grumble about. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it that you can pick out. And that's not just me whitewashing over as a review that there's something glaring. It's a bike that just works. Everything about it is just as it's meant to be. I even just put it up on the centre stand, and it's easy to put up and down on the centre stand, which you wouldn't think for such a big bike. The ride is great, really composed. Adjusting the windscreen is a doddle. The dash is nice and clear. The heated grips come on. They're quite hot on setting 3. It just sits you up there. And as well as all the things sort of being the boxes checked and the T's crossed, I's dotted, wherever it is, the bike's actually fun. That's the fundamental thing about it. As well as being a useful tool that you could go down to the south of France on, it's actually entertaining. Like, you're smiling to yourself, throwing it through the bends. Obviously, it has limitations because it's a big old adventure tourer, but it's just a fun bike to have. I guess one of the defining things about the bike is this 80-degree V-twin down here, because that really, I think, differentiates it. You get the exhaust note, you get the low-down torque of the V-twin, but it just makes your bike feel a little bit more special than perhaps the standard P-twin bigger touring bike. So I think having that visually on display that draws your eye, that's the sort of the center point of any motorcycle, drawing your eye in. But it also feels, it rides nice and the sound is nice. And it makes the bike feel a little bit more premium, whereas if they'd just gone with a sort of basic P-twin, big displacement design. So yeah, undeniably that is a selling point for me, that you've got a big V-twin in there. So yeah, I'm really impressed with it. And I think if you're in the market for some kind of adventure touring bike that you want to go down to Europe and all over the place on, it'll sit at 80 miles an hour on the Autobahn all day long, or the French highway. It'll take 2 up, it'll take luggage, which you can buy as well. It's just a very useful and fun bike. And when you come back and you can't fault a bike, then you know you're onto something there. There's something about it. This is obviously a demo unit here at Midwest Moto. You can also go on the MotoGB website and have a look, and it'll give you all the tech specs about the bike and all the details and everything. But yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing to come back off a long ride and just think, that was really fun. There's nothing you can pick at with this bike. So, if you are in the market for one, and you're about to pull the trigger on an Africa Twin or a Triumph Tiger or a V-Strom, Morbidelli is worth a little test ride, definitely. All right guys, I'll catch you in the next one.